I, like many others, were horrified at what began to transpire at the beginning of this year, but as has been indicated, is not the first time. And none of us want our children or young adults to, attend college and fear for their safety, or a synagogue, or a church, or even walking to their elementary school. So we're horrified at that, and we're pleased that you're here to offer your testimony to us. Secretary Mayorkas, along with Education Secretary Cardona, met with HBCUs on January 24th, 2022, to discuss grant programs, training resources, research opportunities, and other tools available to increase campus safety and security. And in fact, they heavily prioritize campus safety, and they offer a cadre of tools that are available. Were you or a representative, Mr. Hudson, Dr. Hudson, of Jackson State present at that meeting? And if so, what DHS grants, programs, and trainings did Secretary Mayorkas discuss with you that may be helpful?
Yes, we were. We did have a representative present at that meeting, and there were a multitude of opportunities. The nonprofit grant program that allows for us to make those security enhancements, those campus upgrades, particularly with respect to data science. As I've mentioned earlier, being able to upgrade our ability to monitor, to store the type of historical data we need to make those continuous assessments on our campus is necessary. As I said from the outset, we are thankful to law enforcement for their response, but it was just that, it was response. Being proactive means doing those types of things, doing the type of infrastructural improvements, the cybersecurity, data science improvements necessary to be proactive and necessary to help us mitigate those risks before they happen. And that is the space that we want to move in. That's where historical underfunding really makes an impact on your ability to be proactive. So those programs mentioned by Secretary Mayorkas and Secretary Cardona were necessary, and we at Jackson State are in the process of applying for several of those in order to enhance our ability to, again, proactively mitigate some of those issues before we get into a response mode.
So I was unclear if you had developed or utilized the online trainings that were offered, but
yes.
In one of your comments, Tougaloo College, one of the victims of this year's slew of bomb threats, is a recipient of FEMA's nonprofit security grant program funds, having received $150,000 for safety and security in fiscal year 2021. Are you aware of the 501c3 Jackson State and other nonprofit HBCUs that are eligible for this type of funding, and did you apply?
We are aware of that type of funding, and we are applying for those funds. Yes, ma'am.
Great. And then how can Congress support HBCUs applying for security grant funding to ensure applications are successful?
Well, and that's the most important part, because there are a multitude of programs out there, grant opportunities out there. But in terms of capacity, there's a human capital that's needed in order to make a successful application. So workshops such as the ones you mentioned are very important. Us participating in those ongoing efforts, the program support that those funding agencies offer are very critical in helping guide our institutions in terms of making a successful application. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that is the next step. Once those funding opportunities are out there, how can we work with HBCUs and other institutions to improve their ability to successfully navigate the actual process in order to successfully obtain those funds that are so very needed? At Jackson State, we try to take advantage of every opportunity, whether it's any type of learning opportunity, any type of webinar that helps us successfully navigate those processes, and we'll continue to do so. So to the extent they do offer those, we do take advantage of those.
Yeah, as a former director of public health, we certainly offer them when it comes to health-related programs, so that there is training to increase your capacity to apply for grant programs. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Mr. Chair, I yield back my time.
Thank you, gentlelady.